I actually suggested that somebody use my account for like a dating app. I'm like, yo, use me. Go ahead. Get as many friends as you can.
What do you mean use you? Because it's going to come to a point where like
use my pictures.
They want to meet you in person.
Okay. I'm literally FaceTime me. Just give me the heads up. Give me the script. At least if I know about
what's the point of him being on a dating app trying to find somebody or even like have a one night stand if he shows up because he don't want to use his pictures, he's using yours, and now it's him. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.com.
Have you ever needed a licensed therapist to talk about relationship trouble or just everyday situations?
BetterHelp has over 20,000 licensed therapists who are trained to listen and give you unbiased advice.
And the first thing you would do is go to their website by using our link, betterhelp.com/WOAW, which will be linked below.
You answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you with professionals that have licensed experience helping people with issues just like yours.
You can connect with them right from your phone, your computer, or even messaging, however you feel comfortable.
You'll be matched with a licensed therapist within 48 hours, so definitely get started today.
Let BetterHelp connect you with your personal therapist by using our link, betterhelp.com/WOAW, and on sign up, enjoy a special discount for your first month on us. Yo.
Yo. What up, what up?
What's up, coworkers?
What's good, coworkers? Welcome back to another episode with us at the We Outside After Work podcast. I'm your host, Dana.
And I'm everybody's favorite. I'm Aaron. What's up, y'all?
What's with the extra favorite?
Because they love me. I receive so much favor from God that it's only right that the rest of y'all give it back to me as well. So thank you. Appreciate it.
That is very like...
narcissistic.
Conceited.
Arrogant.
Yeah.
Pompous.
All of that.
It is what it is.
So we're going to get into our icebreaker / bad choices. As y'all can see, we wear the same clothes because we just doing another episode back to back for you guys. So we don't miss a week like we did 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So we just want to be more on top of podcasting.
Well, that makes sense. I could have just zipped my jacket up. You ain't have to just flame me out.
Well, like I got the exact same shirt on.
Because, you was
and I got a sweater. So I could have put the sweater on. They would have never knew.
Right. Tell them.
But I want to be honest with our coworkers.
Yeah, but we can't give them the secrets. Like, this is
honesty is the best policy.
Word, you're right. That's
and that goes back to what I said with my last happy hour moment on the last episode. Just being liberated and living in your truth with people, relationships, places, and things.
Okay, Cat Williams.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it.
Let's get in.
All right. Read your cards first.
I don't have no cards.
No, those cards I gave you, you were supposed to read.
I didn't know. You just handed me cards.
So while he finds his cards, then I'll read it, and then they should be on top, no?
Mm-hmm. Can't you read, mister?
Damn, where'd you put the cards?
I figured you had them, so
I I literally had 2. You had 3.
Do you remember?
One of them was, I have no idea. Just pick ones that you want.
Okay, go ahead. You start with yours.
Okay. So the first question is, are you a good person to call for relationship advice? Just a little side note. Can I tell the people what just happened? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Aaron was on a call with a friend.
Oh, shit. Go ahead.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about.
Bruh.
Is it okay?
Go ahead.
Said friend was... getting a package, and then their ex pulled up, banging on the door, being crazy. Then the person said, I'm gonna call you back. So in this scenario, what relationship advice would you give?
The first thing I would do is not hang up the phone. I would keep myself on the phone and have this conversation.
But if they hung up on you,
I understand that.
You call them back?
I wasn't going to tell them what to do in that situation, but just to ensure safety. Or ensure, let's say something does happen, and sometimes people are afraid to go to the authorities. Now you have some kind of a proof that said thing happened. Mm-hmm. Little things like that. I'm a very self-aware person, so I would have potentially started screen recording or something just to have your back, mute myself so that way this person doesn't know that I'm on the phone. But are
you the friend that you would say gives good relationship advice?
I give great advice. And not just relationships, but in general. But I'm also that person where you might not want to hear what I got to say because I'm going to give it to you real and I'm going to give it to you raw. It might not be palatable for you because you're like, that's too harsh, but sometimes that's what you got to do.
I'm that friend too. Like, I just call it how I see it because I just think when you do start to sugarcoat the truth, people can read it as like, okay, maybe the situation isn't as bad as it actually is. So I am that friend where I think I do give great relationship advice because I do follow that advice for the most part. Like, I'm not a friend who will give you advice that I wouldn't follow. So,
and I always remember the one time that I actually felt bad with it wasn't necessarily relationship advice, but the perspective that I had. And I don't know if I told this story, but my father passed away. Mm-hmm. So him and my mom were reigniting their relationship around this time.
Oh, wow.
And I guess I found out before she found out. So when I called her, I said, Earl died. And she just like screamed.
Wow.
Because, I called my father by his name. And she just like screamed.
So she didn't know.
She didn't know. So I'm like, what you mad for? Like, nigga be nigga. Like, But it was just real insensitive.
Very insensitive.
So that moment actually taught me, like, yes, I can give advice, but, your intentions have to be met with kindness. Like, if you're not being kind with the information that you're giving somebody, it don't matter what you're saying.
That's different, though. Like, we're talking about a death. So I think, like, just being very blunt in that way, I'm not laughing at the situation, but, like, that's crazy. Yeah. So with me, I do believe I follow all of the advice that I give my friends. So, for example, if I think there was somebody who I feel like doesn't live up to their expectations, or they're telling me about something that they're not getting, and they're constantly asking the person to either do more or just stand on business, and just like their actions should speak louder than their words, because that's usually the case too, right? Where people say they're going to do all these things for you, they see a future with you, but it's like, okay, well, what does that look like? Are they saving? Do they have a job? Are they getting a job? Like, what's standing in the middle of them being the better version for themselves ultimately, but also for you?
Yeah, I base a lot of things off of personal relationships. Like, and we talked about it last time, especially about friendship, right? Is this person actually somebody that values you? And is this person someone that you value? A lot of times we get into these relationships, we don't even be liking people. Like I said on the last episode,
listen,
don't date acquaintances.
There's so many people nowadays too, where I saw a couple posts on Instagram where I do think people are in relationships because financially it is comfortable. It's not necessarily because they like the person. And it's very unfortunate where now it's like, well, if you are able to live on your own and like take care of yourself 100% financially, you are privileged just based on the economy, right? Like mortgages are high as fuck, rent is high as fuck. No one can really afford to buy a house, let alone have a savings account. So it's like, well, let me be in this relationship because, we're able to have a roof over our head and take care of our kids. But then it's like, well, do you actually like this person? And are you guys friends? Mm-hmm. So those are just things that I feel like is very unfortunate. Yeah.
And then being friends also can be a negative in a relationship because for those very reasons, you might not be able to leave somebody. You might not be able to move on and move forward because you do value somebody. So that's when you question, like, maybe I have that perspective of polygamy or anything of that nature because it's like, hey, maybe I don't have that overly intimate feeling about you, but I don't want to leave you. I don't want to not be involved and intimate with you. So you got situations like that too. I
think for me, we have different views on friendship with a person because, like I said in the last episode about the conversation I had with someone that I really have love for, but it's not like a partner intimacy love. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like I care about them so much that I would much rather be upfront and them be upfront with me because that actually shows that you respect and care for that person. And that to me just makes more sense rather than like, I'm going to just be with you and stay with you because we have that friendship, even though you both know it's not working.
I had a conversation with a friend the other day. And, sometimes relationships just ain't meant to be based on timing. So I was like, if we both 60 and single, it's a possibility, right? Because we get each other, we understand each other. But, you know, maybe
60.
that's what, 60.
I mean, yeah, it depends on how well you took care of your body, right? And if you can still get around, because you know how I feel about that. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who are older who are sickly, right? And it's like they can't really do too much because over time your body wears out.
Do you love them or do you not love them?
You can love everybody.
Over here need somebody
but the
that's
thing
running
is,
marathons at 60?
if you like are trying to date someone at 60, because I'm watching 90 Day Fiance, that's 90 Day Fiance, that's my show, and there is I think she is about 60, either 79 or 69.
And she can't give somebody
is
an extra
Debbie.
couple weeks before they get married. She had all the time in the world.
She was dating on and off. She dated a guy from Morocco, and he was in his 20s, but it came to light that he was just using her for money, obviously. But now she's like in the dating world, and she found somebody who lives in Miami, and he's now around her age. So, but they're doing fun things together. Like in the show, they rent one of those 4-door go-kart things. You know the things in Miami? Like, I don't know what the fuck to call those. But they're like, they go fast. It's like 2-seaters, and like you're kind of like
It's like
out
a
of
car.
Yeah, but it's not a car. It's not a car. It looks like a go-kart. Anyways, they're doing fun things together as if they were like young and dating. But that's because they're both able and have that ability to get around. So my thing is, like, if you tell someone at 60, like, oh yeah, I want to date you, but you are bedridden or like you're stuck in a house because you can't move around too much, no one's going to want to really date you.
I don't know. I seen my 600-pound life, and every last one of them got a man.
They had a man before they got big, though.
Yeah, right. You
Right?
can't 600?
Yeah.
How many levels
but
of big
that's
do it
not
take to
really-
get 600?
That's not really, to me, at least the episodes that I've seen, they come off as like the person's caregiver. It don't seem like they are in love. It seemed like this is my in-home living nurse and enabler. So
Okay.
I wouldn't call that love. That's like he probably got some money on the side and, you know, he's doing his thing or her, whatever the case. But because they may be getting benefits out of it, they with you.
Listen, I ain't got no problem with any of that. I got a question. Have you accidentally ever texted someone on purpose?
What?
Have you ever accidentally texted somebody but on purpose?
I've done that. I think I do it. I don't do that anymore, but I would say when I was in college and, you know, those nights where like you just wanted to hang
I
out with
don't know
somebody.
those nights.
You
I
know,
don't know.
you out of all people know those nights, okay? So,
Hold on, time out.
what? Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
So anyway, like you want to see somebody, so but you don't know if they're gonna respond, right? So you would just hit them up, or I would just hit them up and be like, hey, like, what are your plans tonight or whatever, and just wait for a response. Those are like the risky texts where like you don't know if they're gonna answer, but then when they answer, it's like, oh, okay, bet.
Oh, your version of risky text and my version are different because I've done the risky versions, and you wait for a response to see if she'd be like, oh, okay.
So what is your text? Like, what do you say?
It's usually, I usually don't speak in the accidentally on purpose text. It's usually a visual, just to see if she gets the seal of approval.
You sending dick pics?
Potentially. I didn't say I do it. I said some people do
Wow.
it. I didn't say that was me.
I didn't know men still do that.
This, first off, still is not in question, okay? This is have you ever, not do you.
Okay.
Anywho's.
But you
but
wouldn't know.
in 2004, when I was on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah, time out. But you know, we've done that to the point where it's like, yo, just trying to see, you trying to temperature check. Mm-hmm. Like if she'd be like,
You
yo,
read the room.
yeah,
Yeah.
what is that?
You
is
know
not
what's
the same
funny?
as what's up.
So this may be like, it's not really TMI, but I still have like this one particular person still FaceTimes me or like tries to call me till this day at like 1 a.m. And they've done this probably for the past few months and I don't answer. And they still continue to do it.
Why 1 a.m? Have y'all
Clearly it's a booty call.
But did y'all used to talk?
We used to talk sort of, kind of, but this was like a couple years ago.
That's
But why you ain't
So
block
I'm debating on blocking them. I don't want to because I I don't know. Like they're not a bothersome. Besides when I wake up, because my phone doesn't ring in the middle of the night. Like it's on Do Not Disturb, and then I wake up to like a missed call, and I'm like, why the fuck are you calling me at this? Like I know what it is, but I'm not gonna text back and be like, why you keep calling me?
Why not?
I should.
No, I don't think you should. But because if it was
Because
me,
I don't want to answer. Because my thing is like, you should get the hint as a guy.
men don't get hints. But you know how many men be in inboxes saying hey to themselves? And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. It was this one girl, and I had met her at a party. She actually came with my friend, which is fucked up on my part. I'm self-aware. She came to the party, and, I was, mixing and mingling, and, I bagged. So I'm thinking like, yo.
The girl that came with your friend.
Yep. So I'm thinking like, yo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit her, see what's up. She not answering. Cool. Hit her again. What's up? She not answering. Hit her again. What's up? She not answering. It's like, yo, first off, I feel like I'm a little bit in demand for the fact that you're not answering. I feel disrespected. So,
wow.
So one day I just said, let me just change the play. So I just said, you hungry? Question.
That'll get him.
And she best friend after that. Not like best friend like that, but
now she was more inclined to answer.
Let's talk about what's your favorite color. Like, I don't need to know all that.
Like, what you getting me to eat? But okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going because I like these questions. So this says for you, Aaron, would you allow somebody to lick your toes for $50?
$50, shit. $5 you can lick my toes. That's up to you. I was an athlete for my whole life, so if you want to lick my toes, be my guest.
You got like bunions?
I have pretty toes.
Okay.
But on my baby toe, I had dropped the bed on, because we had bed frames, and I had dropped the bed frame on my toe when I was a kid. So
you have a bunion.
It look a little bunionish, but it's not an ugly bunion.
Does it look like an extra toe?
No. It's just like, for whatever reason, toe skin be mad hard. Like
it's callous.
Yeah, that's what it's called, I guess. But it's like it's a little callousy, like calcium or whatever it is. It's a little callousy.
Yeah, I mean, same answer.
If she want to lick them, go ahead, baby.
I would say
it got to be a woman though. I'm not letting no man lick my toes.
Oh, you gotta make that clear.
Yeah, I gotta make it clear.
Yeah. So for me, I would say for like $5, $10, just because like I know I have nice feet. I've been told multiple times, and God, that's what guys do. They lick toes.
Not every guy lick toes.
Oh, okay.
I have a horror story.
Tell us. Share with us.
All right, y'all. Don't judge me. I went to this woman's place, and it was about 2 in the morning I got there. And she was showering, right? So showers are always a good thing because, that it implies that everything is nice and clean, nice and pristine. So,
And visually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I get up there, we kick it for a little bit, and then, get to the business. So as I'm doing the deed, I figured, let's get a little freaky, right? So she got some feet right here. It's in the air, just, right? Feeling good.
Yeah.
Lights are off, by the way. So we turn over, we lay down, start watching Netflix and whatnot. She turned the light on because she got to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So she comes back in the bed, and the first thing that I seen was her feet come on the bed.
The ones that you had in your mouth.
The ones that I had in my mouth.
What was wrong with it?
They was ashy. They was like, she was kicking cement blocks.
But she just came out the shower. She probably forgot to put lotion on her feet.
It's a different kind of ash.
Oh.
It's like she had socks on. Like that, it was that thick.
I can't really say anything because my feet, if I don't put lotion on as soon as I come out the shower, they get very ashy and like, yeah.
And she was darker too, so you light skin, so you could hide
you could see my ash. Light people, our skin is just as ashy if we don't. At least for me, I get it from my dad because he got ashy feet.
I've had PTSD with feet ever since.
Okay, what's your questions over there?
Since you want to ask me questions, have you ever driven more than 3 hours to go on a date with somebody?
No. That's desperate.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't agree.
3 hours to go on a date is crazy.
Why?
Like, you could come to me, but I'm not driving. First of all, I don't like trips longer than 2 hours. Okay. So, to go on a date and I got to drive 3 hours, I'm not doing it. But if you want to do it, great, but I'm not coming to you.
I do think that we live in Jersey. So even if you're going from North Jersey to South Jersey, it's less than 3 hours. So
It's like 2.5 hours.
it's like 2. So, you know, I was in a somewhat long distance relationship, so that was how that worked. Like, it was always a 2-hour trip. So 3
But
hours.
you don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I've been driving.
Because you're used to it.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
job out of college, I was just always on the road. So I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm not a driver like that. And I don't think I've ever liked somebody that much where
What if
I
somebody
would want
moved?
to.
Like, didn't you move to Pennsylvania for somebody?
That was an ultimatum.
Oh, shit. We're not going to put this.
Yeah, because
nope.
I was like, to me, that was long distance. I was like, you know, if you want to continue this, you know, we either need to move in together or we cutting it off. And we moved in together.
How far is that from where you were at the time?
It was like an hour, 30 minutes. I know. Like, looking back now, it was kind of fucked up. But either way, even dating for me, like, I don't want to date someone who lives in another state, or even if you live in New York, which in different parts of New York, like Brooklyn, Queens, it's about probably an hour and 10 minutes.
And it's all like 5 minutes away from each other. That's the worst
And
part.
to me, it's so far away. Even in New York, like, just going over there is like $20, $25. So that shit adds up. So nah, I'm not gonna keep driving back and forth.
But if we were in another state like Texas or even Pennsylvania, like, it takes you 7 hours to get through Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So if you was living in Pittsburgh and you was dating somebody in Philly, you
I'm
wouldn't.
not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, like, it's too far.
I think it's
Because
relative to where
there's
you're from.
moments too. It is relative to where you're from because some people are used to those drives. For me, like, past relationships, I didn't really have to drive that far. The farthest was probably like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I've done an hour and a half before. But I also feel like I've had times where I was dating someone and they lived far. Like, I tried that before. Or like even people that live in different states. There's just been moments where, like, I didn't want to travel that far to see you. Like, I wanted to just, you know, be there or you come here. And it was like, well, no, we got to wait until this date when I can make that trip. And I was just like...
Word, because you got to
After a while, that shit gets old to me.
So you moved to Pennsylvania based on what you would consider an ultimatum, right? Is that what you would suggest to somebody? Like, if this drive is so intense that y'all should try to find a way to move together? Like,
I would not recommend.
Okay.
Clearly. I would not recommend, but I do feel like everybody is different and everyone's connection with people are different. Like, if you truly feel like this is your person and this is your soulmate and you want to take that sacrifice to constantly go visit them. Because I knew someone, he told me, like, one of his exes lived like 2 hours away or something, and he was always the one to go visit her. So he didn't mind it. He was like, yeah, no, like, I don't mind taking that drive because he really cared about her.
As a man, you should take that drive. That's
yeah,
guaranteed.
maybe, like, as a man, that is just something y'all take responsibility for.
It is. It's like one of them things, like, if we're going somewhere, the man is supposed to be the driver, the woman's supposed to be the passenger
They
princess.
should be, but...
Right? Like, that's how it should
I've been
be.
the driver a lot of the times. And, again, that's probably why I'm still single. Because I really, like...
You need to find a man that can lead.
Listen...
Protect and provide.
Since we're gonna talk personal, right?
We wasn't talking personal.
No, we
Don't get
getting
me to
into it now,
Don't
okay?
get me to
Because, like,
talking.
now I'm feeling triggered.
And this is sober
So we're gonna talk
conversation.
about
This is
this. Is super sober, okay? I had this conversation recently with a friend, and we were just kind of going through my dating history, right? And she's like, it doesn't sound like you have found that person, even in dating, that can take up those masculine roles. Like, yes, everyone has masculine and feminine, and there's supposed to be a balance, right? But I do feel like in a lot of my relationships, I've taken masculine roles. Like, I've been the driver most times. I've been the planner. I've been the person that was, like, making decisions for shit. Because, I don't know, I just never felt that comfortable in their leading. So, but because I know too, like, I know the level of
Control?
No.
Okay, my bad.
But I know the level of Like, my thought process is different. Like, I know that I don't just think based off emotion, right? So if you are giving me an answer that I feel like I have to question, right, and it doesn't really feel like the best choice, I'm going to voice my opinion on that. And then they'll kind of just be like, okay, yeah, like, that's fine. But for me, that doesn't work because long term, I feel like now I have to constantly do that. And that's not attractive to me at all.
You know, what people say is if you continue to repeat the same actions and you continue to get the same results, that you should change the actions.
I am changing the actions.
Okay, because your accent been the same since I met you, so. Never mind.
No. Because you know what's changed
Oh, you had
now?
the nerve thing in your tooth, right?
What are you talking about?
You said my accent didn't change. That's what you...
I said actions.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Listen, okay? No, my actions have changed because I think what's different now is... What?
That you be making...
I don't make bad choices. I would say for me, like, I'm looking for different characteristics now, especially the person that I'm giving the time to. Like, yes, we can have conversation. Yes, you could tell me all these accolades and shit that you do, and you are so ambitious, which is great. But I feel like before, I would lead with that. Like, you sound like you are a leader in your day-to-day, but that doesn't always translate into the relationships. And I think for me, I've always thought it did. So now it's like, okay, well, if I don't feel that when we do start to spend more time together, I'm not going to pursue it longer than needed.
Understood. I think gender roles play a lot of impact in a lot of our relationships because a lot of us don't necessarily
Gender
want
roles
to.
is a thing, too.
Yeah,
People try to act like, oh, no, that's not a thing. It is a thing. And go ahead. Finish your thought.
I don't think that sometimes, like Dana was saying, we should just eliminate it from being a possibility because it clearly plays a factor, not solely into what you want in a man. It's also what you've seen in a man, right? You've seen your father be an example of what quality characteristics that you seek out. So it's like when men don't provide that for you, that's a red flag. And it's not a red flag because every other girl thinks it's a red flag. No, it's a red flag because Dana thinks it's a red flag.
It's my experience.
And I think a lot of people try to, like, you know, poo-poo people's decisions and choices. Like, I made a joke about you making bad choices. But it's like, no, I see a lot of good things in these men that I'm talking to. But at the same time, you're not measuring up.
Yeah, they're not bad people. Like, the people who I've dated in the past, like, they are very... Like, they would be the picture-perfect person for
somebody else.
For somebody else, but for a woman who truly didn't know what she wanted, right? And I don't think it's a bad thing to have a list. Like, it's really not. But it can't just be based off, like, real superficial shit. Like, I don't think my stuff is based off superficial things. I think mine is based off, like, what I've seen, right? And things that I don't want because I've also seen that in a negative light. But it's also, like, what I know I deserve and, like, what I know I can be for somebody else. So if I feel like you don't deserve that level of me, then I'm not going to take it serious. So, yeah, like, I don't know. I've just been single for a minute, and it's kind of like now I really want to look in and see, like, okay, what are the things that I've been looking for and it's not working, so let's alter that.
I think we put a lot of stock into what we like and what we experience, but deep down, all that changes if your feels are overwhelmed. Like, if your feelings just can't be described, where it's just like, no matter what this person does or say, I'm in it. I think that's when you really discover, like, the difference. Because I think we all find, like, attributes that we like, oh, you're cute, oh, you're tall, oh, you got a good job.
That's superficial. That's what I was talking about.
But people value superficial stuff, so I don't want to just eliminate it from people's realities. But when you have a feeling that you just can't deny, that's when none of that stuff matters. Like, that's when, if you get to 60 years old and that person isn't able-bodied,
but that also
takes
takes time to really understand that level of, like, okay, this is someone. I do, because I haven't met someone, at least recently, where I automatically knew, I was like, yeah, this is the person. Because I think women do that a lot, right? The rose-colored glasses thing, thinks every man is perfect because of like, no, because of all the superficial things, right? Like he looks good on paper, but then when it gets down to being in the relationship, like I said before, like you can lead and do all these things in your work and day-to-day life, but when it comes to relationships, it does not transfer like that at all. So yeah, I would say for me, like I'm really just taking my time. Like there's no rush.
And that's
at
the
all.
beauty of nuance. And this is why people shouldn't base their next relationship off of their previous one, right? Because it could be a gentleman that spent some time with you and now saying, hey, sir, I can't be with you because you don't lead properly, you don't yada yada, in my opinion, right? Now he's going to get to the next relationship, he's going to overcompensate. Whereas like, I'm going to do things that, Dana would have appreciated. Now this new girl is getting a different version of you that you aren't
Yeah,
even.
no, I think that's crazy. I think like just be confident in who you are as a person. And, if that didn't work for me, it could work for somebody else.
I would also say grow in confidence as a person, because everyone isn't confident. Everyone doesn't have that ability to just feel like, it is what it is. It's okay. I think we have a bit of a bounce back ability because it's a little bit of a privilege.
But it took time though.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
This level of confidence that I exude, and I know I exude it because a lot of people that I meet for the first time even can feel that. Like this shit didn't happen overnight. Like this took a lot of behind the scenes, because we're recording, but it took a lot of like behind the scenes work and dedication and actually focusing on the things that like, all right, I wanted to be better at. If it wasn't my career, teaching myself different things with the stock market, relationships with my family, like really dedicating time to them and like cultivating those relationships better, because we mention a lot that like, we're only here for a certain period of time. Like there's things you have to look outside of yourself. You know what I mean? And I think once you start to see the bigger picture of things, you don't just take anything. So that also builds up confidence too, of like you really knowing who you are, and like people feel that. So yeah, a lot of people don't want to put in the work because it is work, but I think once you reach that level of, all right, this is who I am, this is what I know I deserve, you really live in that.
And if that don't work, thank you, Marvin.
Thanks, Marvin.
I'll let the ovation cease. And
that's not even like me trying to have like a what is it, like Miss America moment. That's just me really speaking of how I feel about myself. So I want someone to really, and I said this to someone recently where like, they're like, well, what exactly are you looking for? What I said was, and this may sound a little conceited, but I want someone to be obsessed with me, where like you are constantly showing me, you can roll your eyes, like you're constantly just showing me, and like they don't even have to be elaborate, but just conversation that like you really truly value me as a person. Because I feel like since we have all the access right at our fingertips, you're just constantly being shown like different people who may look like what you can picture yourself with, and like so many different like, oh, this woman looks amazing. You do tend to lose value of what's right in front of you.
I do think it's a little bit of fear in that obsession, because some people can put on a really, really good face.
And that's the scary part.
And they can appear to be obsessed with you based on all of you. But generally speaking, it's like, no, look at what I got on my arm. Look at who I can parade around. Look who I can show off.
I think you would know, though. Like, behind the scenes, like, when it's just you guys in the house together, like, you, at least I will. Because I know feelings. Like, I know when people change and, like, the energy shifts. So I could pick that up and be like, okay, yes, something's up. But
that's why I value friendship, because that friendship aspect of it is undeniable.
Right.
You can be even more obsessed with me when you value me as a friend. When I know, like, hey, we don't even need to be in a relationship. Are you still going to be there for me? Are you still going to back me? Are you still going to support me? Are you going to still have that sense of regard for me? To me, that's what separates unconditional love from whatever fallacy it is that we think of love.
Right.
Like, and that's where it's like, yo, I think I know that I'm in love. Like, because at no point in time am I thinking of anything or everything else. I'm undistractable. right?
Yeah,
That's
I would say
the true obsession.
this is the first time where like I've really told someone, and we had a conversation. I keep bringing this up, but like it just recently happened. But we had a conversation where like we both expressed our feelings for each other, where we know we have that level of friendship where it's like, even though we said, okay, we don't want to be in each other's lives in that way, there's still a very strong friendship bond there where like I'm gonna be there for them, they're gonna be there for me, and there's no question about it. So I think that level of honesty with people that you do care about, when you are that open, like, you know, you just feel more like at ease.
Yeah.
You know?
And even though he's
It's
not your
hard,
man,
but it's hard though. It is hard, but it's like you understand where you guys are coming from, because it's like, all right, if we do prolong this fake forced relationship, it's like now resentment builds, and then okay, we had a slip up and there's a possible child involved, that child is going to feel that. So, you know, like I thought for me at least, and for him, that we just were like, let's just have that open conversation, and that's what we did.
and even though he's not your man, you're not his girl, he gonna call you his shorty.
No, he's not.
He gonna call you his shorty. So when he talk about you, he gonna be like, that's my shorty.
What? No.
What? T-Pain said that.
Anyways, okay. Do we have any more cards?
Would you date someone who made half as much money as you do? I already know the answer to that.
What do you think?
What do I think, or
I
what
don't
do
even
I know?
like. Why would you like? What are you talking about?
Because I feel like you have a certain level of value in a man, and it might not be of.
I don't think it's monetary.
I'm getting to it.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think it's monetary, but I think the man that you value will be at a certain level where half of what you make, unless you've gotten to the point where you're in your stocks and you're in your career, where it's like, I'm good, you're going to have to bring a little bit more to the table.
Yeah. I mean, I would say for me, though, because a lot of my money goes to maintenance for me. Like, I already know the things that I do are pretty pricey, like getting my lashes done every 2 weeks, nails and feet done, hair done.
Unnecessary stuff.
It may seem unnecessary to you, but for me, like, doing the little things brings me happiness and peace. Like, that helps me, like, stay level-headed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but, like, again, I'm the one paying for it. So I would assume for men, like, you don't have all of this upkeep.
I asked my homegirl this question, and I said, you got a man in your life, he pays 100% of the bills, right? And you have a full-time job, you have savings and all this stuff. Where does your money go?
Where does my money go?
In a
What did
relationship.
she say?
She said for maintenance and an emergency fund. So I go, okay, what if he gets into an emergency? Because she said he should also have an emergency fund. Would she contribute her money into his emergency fund? She said no.
I would say for me, I would. Because if, like, you are covering the bottom line of everything, and I have, like, either the spending money and the saving money, then it would be the right thing. And not even just the right thing to do. Just for me, like, it would make sense. If you had an emergency, then yes, of course, I'm going to cover that.
It sounds appropriate, but I don't.
It's not that it sounds appropriate. That's how I feel.
I think that's how you feel. I don't think most people would do it.
Maybe not, which again is like, well, what are exactly your values? Like, do you just, for women, do you just want men to take care of you and like pay the rent and the bills and all of those things?
And
but
they hoard
when
their
it
money.
comes down to, well, he needs an emergency because he's in a bind, like, are you going to show up for him in that way too?
Yeah, she'll show up with his bank account, charge his a card.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
it's kind of selfish too.
But that's why I think a lot of men are really reluctant when it comes to like being the breadwinner and the provider kind of thing. Me personally, is what it is. We'll figure it out. I'm a firm believer in not 50-50 or 100 and 0, but 100 and 100, right? Every dollar that I put into this relationship and my partner puts into a relationship is going into the relationship. Whether we split it into this is my money or yours is irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, bills got to get paid, whether it comes out of your bank account or mine. Vacations got to get paid, whether it comes out of your account or mine.
I would say, you know, if you are living with someone and you guys are on that level of like you're sharing bank accounts and bills and stuff, it would make sense that like like, I don't look at that as like, oh, well, this I'm doing 50-50. I do feel like, though, for each relationship, it is different. Like, y'all should always have that conversation in the beginning prior to you moving in together. I would say what would be ideal for me is, I don't want to pay the rent. Like, I don't want to pay the rent. I can pay the other bills or whatever. But I just feel like that's just something that a man should do that goes along with being a provider.
Because it's the biggest bill?
Yes.
So what?
Because my dad paid the rent. So that's where it goes back to.
What if it wasn't the biggest bill?
Well, I feel like whatever the biggest bill is, the man should handle that.
So what if all the bills are big?
They're not. Because I pay all my bills.
So what if you got in a situation where you had to like spend air conditioning money because it was a heat wave throughout the winter time? Because now that's a different bill. Because your electrical bill doesn't
Well,
get
when
too
I
heavy.
think of the biggest bill, I'm saying like, well, what is the main bill we need?
Okay.
That is housing.
I get you.
So you cover the housing, and then, you know, like, I don't mind taking care of the utilities.
I got an estate. Somebody passed away, passed it down to me. Free house. Now what?
So we're both taking care of the utilities.
So now it's a 50-50 thing.
You think you're just not gonna pay anything?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying you do have to pay something. Like,
why?
Because you do.
Okay.
So for you, is it more ideal then if like that was the case? You would just be like, well, if I'm taking care of the house and this was something passed down to me, you're just gonna take care of the utilities. I mean, you would feel comfortable with that.
I would technically if that's what we've been doing. Time out. Hold on. Because I'm gonna use your example, right? If I was paying the rent as the biggest bill, and then you were paying the other bills because they didn't subsidize into the rent, and now all of a sudden I had free housing for whatever the case may be, technically I'm fulfilling my end of the bargain.
Technically you are, but still not technically, because your money is not going towards the rent anymore or the housing.
Wwe ain't it?
So you would, because you just said
I could leave tomorrow. Where you going?
I could take care of myself regardless.
Now you're going to have to pay $100.
But if we are a unit and that happens, like, at least the man that I know that I'm going to end up with, like, he's not going to feel comfortable if that was the case to be like, all right, you take care of the utilities and I'm living rent free, so you could stay here if you want. But if it don't work out, you got to pay for your own shit.
That's like, I do that. But no, I wouldn't actually do that.
Okay.
What I would do is I would always prioritize making the home as comfortable as possible. So if that means that we split it, cool, we can split it. That means that I pay 100% of it, cool, I pay 100% of it. But we would have that conversation.
Right. But everyone's comfortability level is different. So I know, like, some women, they're okay with just doing half and half. Like, I've done that before. It wasn't ideal. But if we're talking ideal, that would be what I would want.
And that's why I don't believe in half and half. I think half and half it's too complicating, right? Because bills don't work half and half.
It's not half and half.
Right. So let's say your rent is $2,500 and your utilities come up to be $800. So am I giving you $1,750?
But I do think
$1,650, sorry.
The financial conversation should be open, and you should have those conversations. If like you feel like you are putting more up and fitting the bill, have that conversation and talk to the person that you're with, because like when it goes back to bills, like, how about if we're going food shopping, I got the food this time around, you got it the next time. You know what I mean? Like, even, it's kind of like when you go out with friends, right? Like, you have the friends where it's like, all right, I'll pay for us tonight, you pay for another night. Like, it should be like that.
Yeah,
where it's not like you're stressing, all right, like, the bill was $48 and change, give me half. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
And we should use that as a microcosm of society. Do you know how difficult it is trying to scrounge up 17 people to pay their portion and all that stuff? It's difficult. It's difficult. Just come up with a plan before we even get to the bill.
I recently had a situation where...
Not when I took her out, because I handled that.
No, I appreciate you for that. Like, I appreciate you doing the surprise birthday party with my friends that pulled up. Like, it was lit. But... not that situation, but I had another situation where I went out and it was probably like 8 to 10 people in total. We went to this really nice restaurant. I got the oxtail, wasn't that great, but people, like, there was meals that were pretty pricey. Like, there was just so many different things, like red snapper. I think they also had some type of stuffed something, but each bill was at least like, I think it was like $60 to $70 a pop, right? So we all pulled out our cards, and it was like 8 cards. And I kind of felt bad for the waitress, because I'm like, now she has to sit there and calculate and you know, subtract this, that, and a third, which to me, I'm thinking of the most easiest thing to do, which is just 2 cards and we could just send the money. But we was already, you know, all cards out at that point.
But why even put out 2 cards?
That's what I was thinking. I didn't know we were doing that until they got to me and they were collecting cards.
You can literally just click on Zelle and send people.
I know.
Like,
that's the simplest thing. So I was just like, okay, if y'all want to do the most.
ladies and gentlemen, when you go out for your birthdays, brunches, just to be out, whatever the case may be, Zelle each other.
And we talked
Cash
about this
App.
before.
Do something.
That's why I don't like.
Stop
I don't
wasting
like
people's
the group dinners and whatnot, because the shit just starts to get complicated, and I just don't got the patience for it.
Yeah, I ain't got the patience for it either. So
Yeah.
I ain't taking none of these hoes out. Have you ever created a fake social media account to spy on someone?
Well, I have multiple Instagrams anyway, so I'll use.
You have multiple Instagrams?
We have the podcast.
Oh, okay.
I actually used to have a like a meme motivation Instagram page. It was like Daily Gems something, but it was just literally like motivational stuff that I would post. This was a couple years ago too, but I would use that Instagram to like check on people's stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, all the people I would check on, they blocked the Instagram too. So no,
They blocked you?
no. I wouldn't do that. Partly because I'm a guy, I guess. Like I don't think dudes do that.
Dudes do that.
Do they?
Yeah.
Never heard of any dudes.
Or they'll ask their guy friend to do it, because I had someone I used to date. They said they never had an Instagram, right? And then we started to date, and I noticed that like his friend's page would always pop up in either my likes or like in my story of like who viewed my story. And I thought that was kind of weird, because I'm like, why is his friend now looking at all my shit? And come to find out, it was him. He was like, oh yeah, me and my friend, we use his account. So he was using his friend's account to look at my stuff. And then after we broke up, it was probably like a year after, his Instagram popped up to follow me, and I blocked him.
I actually suggested that somebody use my account for like a dating app. Like I'm like, yo, use me. Go ahead, get as many friends as you can. And then when you
How does that work? What do you mean use you? Because
Use my
it's gonna come
profile.
to a point where like
use my pictures.
they want to meet you in person.
Okay. I'm literally FaceTime me. Just give me the heads up. Give me the script. At least if I know about
what's
it.
the point of him being on a dating app trying to find somebody, or even
Because
like
it's-
have a one night stand? If he shows up because he don't want to use his pictures, he's using yours,
Okay.
and now it's him.
I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of my hitch, because you know I'm a date planner. This is what I do. So what's gonna happen is you use my profile. I set everything up, right? We're gonna get to know each other, get ready to meet each other, and then I'm gonna stand you up.
What do you mean?
I got you.
So
you.
you're the one actually talking to the girls?
They'll be the one texting, but if you need to talk on the phone or if you need to FaceTime or anything like that, I got you.
Why?
Because it's all about hooking them up. So here, let me finish the plan. So you pick a nice restaurant, right? One that you're willing to pay for to take this woman out.
Okay.
So what's going to end up happening is she's going to be there waiting for me, and I'm never going to show up. And that's when he's going to swoop in. Oh, excuse me, darling. I just saw you looking so dazzling, beautiful. I just wanted to buy you a drink. Guess what drink he's going to buy her? Her favorite drink. You want to know who's going to learn her favorite drink? This guy.
When has this ever worked?
We haven't done it, but I'm telling you. It's going to work.
I'm like, this sounds like some movie shit.
It's some movie shit because I'm a movie star. Like, this is what I do.
Oh gosh.
So,
you really be thinking of scenarios.
because I be
Right.
trying to hook my people up. Like, Dana.
Let me know when that works. We need to have that person on here.
Well, see, you don't like anybody that I would suggest for you, so I don't.
Everyone who you would suggest is in relationships.
No, I wouldn't suggest them.
So who?
I don't know who I would suggest.
You don't really have
You're picky.
single friends.
You're picky, so
You don't have single friends.
You're also picky, so I want to be
Either way, it doesn't work.
I'm gonna find somebody,
Please don't.
and then he's gonna have a real Instagram page.
honestly, it's not a matter of finding people. Like, for me,
Yeah, because even Nemo was found.
people be like, they're there, okay? It's just a matter of, like, if I want to give them my time. So, yeah, like, that's just what I'm dealing with right now. And it's a process, which I understand. Like, it is a process getting to know somebody. So, again, I'm not rushing anything, but, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, but if anybody do want to try that dating concept out, I'm your guy. I'll make sure I give you all the popping flicks. If they need to see anything, just let me know.
It's probably not going to work. Just a disclaimer.
Why wouldn't it work?
Because you have to test run it to see if it'll work at all. If you actually going to use it on one of your friends.
It should have worked.
Okay.
If you get super duper fine, sexy as sexy gets, and you at this restaurant waiting for this guy of your dreams to show up, and he don't show up, you ready to go?
So what if your friend looks crazy?
They won't look crazy because I don't have crazy looking friends. All my friends are handsome. Every last one of y'all in your own mind.
From a guy's point of view.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do our happy hour moments.
Oh,
All
we
right.
still got one of those.
So yes, we are at the end, y'all, and my
Y'all.
happy hour moment. At least I don't say y'all's. What's y'all's this and y'all's that?
First off, that was one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold me
Anyways.
accountable for everything.
Yeah. So my happy hour moment is we are finally going into spring/summer, and I'm excited about that. Like, the sun sets at 7:00 now, and I just feel more like lively, and the sun is out, and I want to be out, and I just love that energy.
You know, that's a manipulation.
It is.
Yeah, because all we did was told you that was an extra hour in a day, and now all of a sudden,
Well, you didn't tell us that's what happened.
It's not
It
real.
was a change of clocks. In hindsight, it's not real. But it's still real because we follow the clocks. When we get up to go to work, when work starts, when we go to sleep, like, that is a real thing. We follow.
I don't think it's real. I think what would happen is the sun makes us awake.
I
or
wish
fall
we
asleep.
actually had just the sun to go by. Of like, all right, let's get up when the sun comes up. Let's go to sleep when the sun goes down. But yeah, we have to, like, literally
Live
psych
under the
ourselves.
control.
Yeah.
Fucking
Which
everything is under control.
And that shit alone is a struggle.
But no, I'm not going to take away your spring and your summer because we do love spring and summer.
Yeah.
Dana still got her tan from her vacation.
do.
You know, she out here glowing, living her life like it's golden.
Hey.
You feel me? But yeah, I won't take away from your moment. This is your
Thank
happy
you.
hour moment.
Yeah, so that's all I got for happy hour moment. What is yours?
My happy hour moment is a tequila sunrise and a couple tacos. I'm about to go get me some because I need a happy hour. Like, you know,
What time is it? Almost 3 o'clock?
it's like 3 o'clock. Like, it's time to go outside after work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, we love that. I need some tacos and a tequila sunrise, but I need to take a drive to my parents' house, which is, I think it's about an hour from here, to be honest.
If it was 2 hours, you wouldn't be going to see him.
I would not. Nah, I love my parents. I'm just joking. But
I'm not. My mother, first off, she lived 5 hours away.
in PA, right?
I was never taking that drive. Like,
How
I've done
often
it.
do you see her?
Well, she moved to Maryland now, which is 3 hours, so I'll probably take that drive soon. But I would probably go once every 2 years, if that.
Every 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not taking a drive. She can come to Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah, no. She wants to be here. I don't want to be there, so.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, if you want to be here with us, okay. Yeah, you can hit up our Gmail at woawpod@gmail.com.
Or you could take a drive 3 hours to get to where we're at, and we're not going to tell you because it's a secret.
Exclusive.
Only for the best.
Only if you confirm and show up, you can get the address. But on that note,
We outside.
we outside and we out.
I'm not texting nobody else the address because